Hey, welcome to another fingerstyle guitar lesson. Today we're going to be arranging a song at the intermediate level. Alright, so intermediate means it's not going to be too difficult, but it's not going to be super easy as well. And I think that you can do it. If you've been following my lessons for a while, you already have a lot of the ideas and the tools that we're going to be using. Now, the song we're going to be doing is called There Is a Balm in Gilead. As you already know, if you watch some of my videos, the songs are not important. What's important for you to take away is the processes and the methods and the tools that we're going to be using to create this arrangement, and then you, as a musician, you can apply it to your favorite songs and tunes. So rather than me just spoon-feeding you songs and giving you a tab and you're just reading a series of numbers, that's not the point, right? The point is for you to grow and develop as a musician, and then you can create your own unique original fingerstyle arrangements. Alright, so this song, I've already analyzed the melody, I've already analyzed the harmony, I've already created a beginner's version of the fingerstyle arrangement, alright? If you're interested in those videos, go check them out in the description below, alright? So you can listen to those videos. But what we're going to be doing today is we're going to be arranging it in what's called closed position. So closed position is different from open position, alright? This is open position chord, and this is closed position chord. Okay, so open position has open strings, closed position has no open strings, right? But what's the point of arranging it in closed position? Well, you have a lot more control over the melody in closed position. So this is a note in open position. It's just gonna ring. Sounds okay, alright? But if we have it in closed position, we have full control over how to articulate it. Of course, you have some control in open position, but in closed position, you have a lot more, okay? So for example, the melody, this is how it will sound like at the start. Right? I have so much more musical control over it, and that's what I really like about it. I'm just gonna sing you the song in solfege, and I'm gonna play the chords so that you have an idea before we get started. Let's go. Hey, if you don't know already, solfege is the system where we attach sung syllables to every scale degree in a scale. So in this case, we are in E major. The solfege syllables are Do, Re, Mi, Fa, Sol, La, Ti, Do. And the usefulness of this is that whenever we hear a note, we hear it in solfege and we know exactly where in the scale it lies. Alright, so let's get back to it. Mi, Re, Do, So, Do, Re, Mi, Do, Mi, Fa, Mi, Re, Do, So, Do, Re, Mi, Do, Re, Do, Mi, Fa, So, Do, Mi, Fa, Mi, Re, Do, Mi, Fa, So, Fa, Mi, Do, Mi, Re, Do. And that's the song. Alright, so you may have noticed I didn't tell you what key I am. That's because it's not important, alright? For this arrangement technique, it doesn't matter what key we're in. All we're going to think about is the relative pitch, okay? So, I'll tell you, we're in the key of E major, but you can use this technique in any key that you want. And we're not going to be thinking about the absolute pitches. So I'm not going to be saying any letters like E or B or all that. I'm just going to talk about numbers and solfege syllables, okay? Alright, when I say numbers instead of, chords like E major or B major, basically, I'm constructing chords on the various scale degrees of the major scale. So chord number 1 is just a chord that's built up on scale degree number 1 of the major scale. So in this case, we are in E major, and that would be a E major chord. And chord number 5, the scale degree number 5 is B, so in this case, it would be a B chord. So chord number 1 is gonna be this chord, alright? So because we're in the key of E major, this is our scale. Do, Re, Mi, Fa, Sol, La, Ti, Do, Do, Ti, La, Sol, Fa, Mi, Re, Do. Well, how do we play that scale? Well, I've got a series of guides that you can go to my website and download for free, alright? In this case, we've got the scale position guide, the chord position guide, and the solfege harmony guide. It's got all the information that you need to follow along with this lesson. In this case, use the scale position guide and go to the movable scale positions. In this case, I'm using the 5-2 scale position on the 7th fret. So you can follow along with the fretboard diagram to play along if you would like. And it's all in the links in the description below. So let's get back to it. Chord number 1 is just a chord with the bass note on scale degree number 1, and it's going to be a major chord. So in this case, I'm just going to form this chord number 1 here. It's a major chord. Are you confused yet? Well, I did say this is an intermediate arrangement, so it's not gonna be easy, but I believe you can follow along. Okay, go to the solfege harmony guide, and for the major scale, for every chord 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, I've listed out what the quality is of each chord. So chord number 1 is a major chord number 2 is a minor chord, so on and so forth. And how am I playing this chord? Well, first you need to get the bass note, alright? In this case, the bass note is the 7th fret of the A string, which is an E note, okay? And from there, you need to go to the chord position guide and go to the movable chord positions. And then you can see how to form the chord. So let's go to the movable chord shapes. In this case, I'm using the A shape, but starting on the 7th fret. This means it looks like an A in open position, but we've shifted it all the way up the neck to the 7th fret. And because the bass is now an E, it's going to be an E major chord, although it looks like an A. Okay, so I hope this has been helpful. Apply this concept to the other chords that will be going forward as I continue talking and arranging the song. Let's go. And then moving on, mi, mi, re, do, chord number 1, so, do, re, mi. This is chord number 6. So chord number 6, we're going to find where's our note number 6 in the bass, which is do, ti, la, or 1, 7, 6. Now this is our bass note, chord number 6, form a minor chord. Just to guide you along, what is this minor chord? In this case, we're using the E minor shape. So it looks like an E minor, but we're shifting it all the way up to fret number 9. And this is going to be a C sharp minor. Although it looks like an E minor just pushed up all the way to the 9th fret. So this is how movable chord shapes work. Do, re, mi, do, mi. This is going to be chord number 2. This is note number 2 with the bass, form a minor chord. Mi, mi, fa, mi, re. Chord number 5 here. This is our bass. Do, ti, la, so. This is 1, 7, 6, 5. The 5 note as the bass. We're gonna just form a major chord here. When I say form a major chord, well, you kind of have limited options as to what shapes you're gonna be using based on where your bass note is. So in this case, the bass note is on the lower string, right? On the low E string, and we are on the 7th fret, so that's a B note. Now, you can't, for example, you can't use the A shape because the bass note for the A shape is on the 5th string. But if our bass note is on the 6th string, you can either use the G shape or you can use the E shape. Now, the E shape is going to be a lot more common, it's going to be a lot more easier to fret. So let's just use the easy option, okay? So in this case, we're using the E shape moved up to the 7th fret, which gives us a B major chord. Alright, so we've got mi, mi, fa, mi, re, do, chord number 1, so, do, re, mi, chord number 6, do, mi, chord number 2, do, mi, chord 5, re, do. Alright, doesn't matter what these chords are, you just think of terms of the numbers. Let's go on to the verse. Do, mi, chord 1, 2, chord 2, 2, chord 3, because this is the bass, mi, mi, got the wrong note there, mi, do, mi, chord 1, 2, chord 4, 2, chord 5, then we have chord 1, 2, chord 2, and then 2, chord 3, 2, chord 4, 2, chord 5, and then 2, chord 1. Alright, so we've got our basic chord structure here. Now, we're going to play this melody in using the solfege syllables. We have our scale, so we can immediately play the melody out using our scale position. By immediately, I mean if you've practiced it a lot and you're used to the process. Don't worry if it takes you a little bit longer. What I'm going to be doing here is I'm going to be taking a scale position. In this case, I'm using the 5-2 scale position. I'm moving it all the way up to the 7th fret, and that will give us the E major scale. And I'm going to be singing solfege along to the various scale degrees. Okay, so don't worry, I've got all the tools that you need to follow along with the lesson. So let's get back to it. And what we're going to do, we're just going to play the bass note that accompanies the melody, right? At every fixed position that the harmony should come in. So for example, we've got mi, mi, re, do. For this do, instead of playing the full chord, for now, we're just going to play the bass note. Do. So we've got mi, mi, re, do, so, do, re, mi. Alright, this is the 6 chord bass. do, mi, 2 chord, mi, fa, mi, re, and then we've got chord 5, mi, re, do, chord 1, so, do, re, mi, chord 6 here, do, chord 2, do, mi, chord 5, re, do, chord number 1. Now to the verse. Do, mi, fa, fa, so, chord 3 here, just the bass note. Do, mi, fa, mi, re, chord 5. Do, mi, chord 1, mi, fa, chord 2, fa, so, chord 3. Fa, mi, chord 4 over here. This is also note number 4, yeah? This is a bit higher. Fa, mi, do, mi, chord 5 of the bass. Re, do. And there we have it. That's a bass melody arrangement. And that's the skeletal structure that you need to move on. Right? So this is just the chorus part, how it will sound like. So that's the basic bass plus melody. Now, of course, that's not enough. We need to fill in the rest of the texture. In closed position, it's a little bit tricky. You need to find what free fingers that you have available to fill in the rest of that chord shape where you can. Okay, so this is how it will sound like for that little section that I did just now. Right, so I've got this finger free here. I'm just gonna put it here to add in one extra note in the chord, alright? And then here, so here I've got more notes in the chord. Do, re, mi, do, mi. Okay, I can form whatever shape that I can get here that fits in with that chord. Mi, fa, mi, re. So here I've got a lot of notes here, so I can fill in the texture a little bit more. Now, a little tip for you is that you don't need to play so many notes. You don't need to fa, mi, re. It doesn't need to have so many notes. In fact, the less notes there are, the more important ones are going to stand out, and it's going to make your musical playing, your music a little bit more musical, in my opinion. Alright, so that's basically the concept, and I want to walk you through how the full arrangement sounds like. Okay, of course you need to go back and workshop it on your own, but that's basically it. You've got your chord shapes, you've got your melody. All you need to do now, play the bass and melody together, and then slowly add in these notes in between, and that will fill up the texture. Alright, this is There Is a Balm in Gilead. Okay, so as you may have noticed, it's kind of sparse sounding, right? It's not big sound, but I have so much control over the melody, and arguably the melody is the most important part of music. Alright, so I hope that has been helpful for you. This stuff is not easy, but I just want to give you an insight into what goes on in creating a complex or an intermediate fingerstyle arrangement. So let me know if you have any questions in the comments below. I'm more than happy to help you out. And until next time, I will see you again. Goodbye.